Multiple deputies in Mississippi have been terminated after two Black men filed a lawsuit and alleged to have been tortured and sexually assaulted by the officers. Michael Jenkins and Eddie Parker filed a lawsuit alleging 6 deputies entered their Braxton home in January and handcuffed, kicked, waterboarded, repeatedly used tasers on the men, and attempted to sexually assault them with sex toys. One deputy also put a gun in Jenkins' mouth and shot him. What are your thoughts on this horrifying story? This is unbelievable, Al.
You know what? I'm really just perplexed because fired is not enough. Fired is not enough. They need to be charged with something. And the sad part is that Lynn Finch, Miss Lynn, you need to get on your job. That's the Mississippi Attorney General who's trying to pretend like this incident has not happened. It's been way too long. You haven't filed any charges and you have not made any comments about this incident since Wednesday. Now, this is what's interesting about the state of Mississippi. Remember, y'all, the state of Mississippi just passed the House Bill 1020, which the court system has created this unelected panel of judges and prosecutors to preside over the handlings of things in Jackson, Mississippi, which is 80% Black. But guess what? This unelected judge and prosecutors have no African-American representation. This has to change in the state of Mississippi, and I need to see them charged before sundown today.
Okay, Al Reynolds is calling for that by sundown. I'm not mad at that. Q, what are your thoughts about this going up in there and torturing them like this? This is unbelievable.
I have so many questions, right? Like the first thing, and I know this is probably the most irrelevant of the whole story. Where did the sex toys come from? Like, was somebody traveling with the sex toys, or did they have to have the sex toys in their room? Like, it's the sex toys part. I was ready for the story to say they sexually assaulted the guys with the pistols. I need to know that the sex toys deserve its own investigation right there. And I'm going to tell you something. If Olivia Benson was here or Stabler was here from SVU, Law and Order, we would have got to the bottom of this. The second thing that I want, and my father's side of the family is from Mississippi, I need the soulmates to drop down in the comments and please explain to me from a geographical and an energetic perspective, why is Mississippi just the complete hub of all things racism, slavery, and hatred, even in 2023. That still perplexes me that one place is the most concentrated place of racism.
I'm going to answer some of that. So I've been calling for a while for the Black residents and the Democrats in Mississippi to galvanize and get together, because Mississippi is the blackest state in America. Close to 40% Black. I think it's 38 to 40% Black. This is a state that should be well represented. The Black people should be well represented, but they're not. They have done extreme gerrymandering in this state to make it where one district is Black and has representative, and the rest, like, I think the Supreme Court had ruled on that recently. They have done extreme gerrymandering where it's a clinic for other states to be like, oh, we could just do this. You know, they just draw these shapes that aren't even shaped like squares or anymore to make sure they take away the voting power of the Black people in Mississippi. Right. It is horrific what they've done to Mississippi. And that is a state where if they decided to, the Democratic Party ever decided to put some real money into that state and really get boots on the ground and register people to vote, there's a plethora of votes there that are just waiting. That state should not be the way it is. It should be that state should be Wakanda for us, okay? Right. Not the way it is right now.
But it has the most oppressive legislation. That's why, Q, that's your answer. They have the most oppressive legislation than any other state in the United States.
You know, Claudia, one of our soulmates, I didn't mean to cut you off, one of our soulmates, Michelle Moyer, said something very profound. She said, those cops have been doing this. How do you have whole sex toys? I totally agree, Miss Michelle.
What is waterboarding?
You kind of hang them kind of almost upside down or on their back, and you put like a rag or something over their face. They put water. You feel like you're drowning, and they do that they do that with spies to try to like get them to break and to give up information, and it's torture.
And if
you watch documentaries about slavery, which I have watched plenty of what they did, homoerotic stuff, I won't even call it erotic, torture that these men would do to the men to buck break them and humiliate them and use to like violate them. This is what this is giving with sex toys and attempting to do this to them. Like, why would you do this?
Child, this thing making me mad. Move on to the next thing.
Man, I'm disgusted.